A couple days ago, I treated you all like my therapist, where I confided in you that I wasn't feeling overly tough anymore. When I posted that video watching Tough Guys, I told you about my insecurities. I wasn't feeling like a manly man's man, like lumberjack, butt fucking, pussy slaying tough guy. And today it just really hit me even harder. That box behind me right there is a bidet attachment for my toilet. No tough guys cleaning their ass, let alone pressure washing it. So I needed to watch another tough guy today to get inspired and remember what it's like to be extremely masculine, and I found a great patient zero for this. This is one of the toughest men I've ever seen in a Walmart.
Don't try to fucking go too far and start something, right? Right? You want to see my back kick right now?
Call the cops.
This guy forgot he's not in college anymore, so his frat can't back him up. So to me, he seems a little bit skittish, but kind of like a scared animal, trying his best not to look weak, but in doing so looks extremely weak. I will say though, I love his threats. Do you want to see my back kick? Sounds like something SpongeBob would say after taking one lesson of karate. I feel like this dude's stuck in some kind of time vortex where he thinks he's 10 years younger than he actually is in reality, but he definitely strikes me as a fighter, a fucking warrior. I guarantee every time he goes into the bathroom to take his shit, he shadow boxes in the mirror just to practice his combat techniques. He probably just envisions all of these incredible fights in his head where he's the anime protagonist, the hero. So he's working on like these weird techniques, like fucking charging up his punches like Donkey Kong. And then of course his signature back kick.
Let's go!
Call cops? Yep, call cops right now.
That's what I'm tired of. You guys think, you like black people. You guys think you guys are so fucking strong.
Yeah.
You guys think you're so fucking strong and everything.
Congratulations, you just set a new any percent record for the racism speedrun. It only took him like 2 sentences to reveal that he's a racist, so that was pretty impressive. Look at this technique though, I mean look at that stance. What is that? Is that crouching tiger hidden douchebag? I take back what I said, he doesn't look weak. If I was to choose one word to describe this man, it would be diesel. He's looking strong and fierce. He's taken 2 rumble boxing aerobics courses at his local gym, and he's feeling like a champion.
Right, come on, make a move, dude. Come on.
Sir, I'm
Come on.
asking you, time to go.
Come on.
Time to go, sir.
What?
Excuse me.
What?
Hey, excuse me. Hey,
Get out of here.
time to go.
You've been drinking. You need to go. Police.
His speed is inhuman. If you blinked, you would have missed over 1,000 blows. I think the human eye can only register like half of the moves he actually did there, but I slowed down the footage in order to see every move. When he did this, into this, there was actually over 15 individual punches thrown. It was like out of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And admittedly, that kick was a lot higher than I thought it would ever be, coming from a guy that looks like this. I'm sure it came at a high price. That's definitely the highest he's kicked since he was a kid. And he's definitely paying the price. I'm sure he pulled a muscle there and he won't be able to walk in the morning, but god damn it did he look strong doing it. It was worth it in the end. After seeing this, I have no doubt that this man is an absolute weapon. I guarantee his Bible study peers are afraid of him, just in case they get on his bad side, because he might unleash an unholy beatdown and absolutely clobber ass. These techniques are forbidden jutsu, and he's mastered each and every one of them.
Walmart line.
Yeah.
Pokemon Snap just came out. I was trying to get Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap. Yeah, that's what we're here for too.
Yeah, just in case you were curious what started all of this, apparently that guy was just being an asshole over a copy of Pokemon Snap, and then decided to start threatening back kicks and shit like that. Crazy. Yeah, but huge thanks to the Walmart staff for intervening there. If left unchecked, that man's power could have gone out of control and just been devastating, like an apocalypse level event. That's probably the Armageddon that was written about in the Bible, is just when that guy's temper flares up. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't an asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. It was this guy just getting angry about Pokemon Snap not being available. So, I mean, Jesus Christ. It was a close call, but Walmart staff really saved the day there. And now that guy's going to go home, butt chug his Budweiser, and just think about how strong he was. Because this guy was a real fucking tough guy. And, yeah, that's about it. See ya. I know it may not look like it now since I've gotten my life together and beaten the addiction, but I used to be a hardcore junkie. I was addicted to a controlled substance known as Karen videos. and I'm starting to admittedly fall back off the wagon. I'm getting back deep into the content, and I can't help but inject that shit straight into my veins. Last night, during YouTube night on stream, someone recommended another beautiful Karen freakout. YouTube night, for those of you that don't know, is on my Twitch streams, twitch.tv/MoistCr1tikal. Every couple of days we watch some goofy, fucking wacky videos, just enjoying it together, eating popcorn, eating pussy, and it's just a good old time. If you're not there watching my Twitch streams, you've already fucked up in life, so just make sure to be there for the next one. It's a sacred night when it comes to watching YouTube. But anyway, this is the one we found last night, and then this morning when I woke up, I was greeted by a brand new Karen freakout on Twitter, like literally the first thing I saw when I woke up. Which tells me it's probably a sign from the universe that it's not a bad addiction to want more Karen content. In fact, it's probably healthy, and it seems like fate is encouraging it. So, I'm watching a lot more Karen content again, and god damn it, I've missed it. It's kind of quiet. Open the door so I can hear better.
Give me the fucking Wi-Fi before you get arrested and your mom. Because I
Call her bluff.
need the Wi-Fi.
She can't get in without the Wi-Fi password.
You have 2 seconds.
She'll never pass the retina scanners.
Wi-Fi. I need the Wi-Fi.
Well, is this sign language? It's been a long time since I took a sign language course.
Doggy, dead.
Oh, thank you.
You're not gonna fuck with me, dude. Because when you're outside by yourself one day, you're gonna be
Thanks, resub Teddy. Those eyebrows desperately want to become one unit, but she is just not letting them.
okay. So what are we gonna do?
Just embrace the unibrow, goddammit.
Okay, before you do it.
Make them whole again. Is this... I feel like I'm being pranked. Is this CGI? Like a cutscene or something? She looks animated.
Still to get your fucking nose done, and it's still
Like one of those Pixar villains.
your mom. She lost a case in eviction class in court. So guess what, bitch? We're gonna be
Oh, I see what it is. It's having the Godzilla effect.
a long time.
Her mouth doesn't match the words.
You guys give me the Wi-Fi, or you don't have Wi-Fi.
Bit desynced.
There's ways around that. Keep thinking about it. What do you love more, your dog or your Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi. Take the dog. Pussy.
Wow, you had to think about that.
You harpy.
I would have said my dog. Not your fault. Your mom's a bitch in court in the first place. Not your fault. My mom was the same way to me. Hence why I'm a cunt now.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, at least there's a little level of self-awareness.
Talk shit or have a nasty attitude.
This is like a therapy session. I don't care about your mom.
I'm not allowing it. But you're being a little bitch. What do you expect for me to fucking do?
True.
If you want to have like a little bitch,
It is your fault, after all.
chaos in my life,
Give her the Wi-Fi password, damn it.
guess what it is? You know you're getting charged with a felony for falsely reporting over PTS cases, right?
For what? False... What was that? Charged with a felony for falsely imprisoning over U.S. airspace? What did she say?
Falsely reporting over PTS cases, right?
What?
You know you're getting charged with a felony for falsely reporting over PTS cases, right?
What is that, like a curse or something? Was that even English?
By law, you
Is that a spell?
You do your research. I live here. You forgot that I live here?
Mm-hmm.
I live here.
Hey now, who's there?
Upstairs.
Oh, just you again.
Doesn't that
You pranked me.
you have a bitch sister-in-law? But when you killed yourself, I was there for you, right, you little cunt?
She killed herself? What?
Right, you little ungrateful little bitch?
Damn, this is taking all kinds of twists. What is it? She's speared
I
or something?
told you that they have to call ops
I
on them.
have psychology class. Unlike you, I go to school every fucking day.
What?
Okay.
This has been 8 months. Surely she's made a statement, a press release? I think in cases like these, like if a video goes viral like this, they should just arrest this woman just to talk to her. Just charge her with like a public nuisance or something, just so that we could have her like on record, documented. Kind of like a rare animal. You know, like tag their ears, so that way you know when you've seen them before. Pretty solid, not the most eventful, you know, not the most action-packed, but there's also nothing wrong with a more passive encounter with a Karen. I just really enjoy them in all shapes and sizes. I think they're all beautiful. And then today I saw this one, which is just another wonderful adventure. This happened at the glorious hotspot of Burger King. Probably the first time 2 people have been at Burger King since 2001. Every Burger King I've seen in the last couple decades has been completely abandoned with maybe only a couple workers' cars nearby and no customers. But maybe that's just my area. Maybe Burger King really is like the cool spot where everyone goes after school or something somewhere else in the world, but it's just not here. So seeing like any kind of confrontation at Burger King was shocking to me.
Get out of the goddamn way.
No
This
accident.
lady right here.
She cut me off to get to the takeout to the
Are you drunk?
Burger King.
Because you can't even get your words
And-
together.
And almost hit me when I was trying to get in.
I
They
almost
all
hit
around
you.
me and cut in front of me. I don't usually get upset, but this is.
Y'all, look how close I am. This is almost hitting them. This is almost hitting them. I am not the one to play
No,
with.
I'm not.
A Karen and her cell phone, the most dangerous combination since bleach and ammonia. A Karen with her cell phone is like King Arthur with his Excalibur, truly an unstoppable force of annoyance and pettiness. So again, to break it down, she's mad because she didn't get her Whopper in the timely fashion she wanted to because they were behind this car and they didn't like that. So the car that they're blocking, well, they're not blocking it at the moment. They were blocking the car and then they got out of the car in order to call the police. And it's all because they thought they deserved to be able to cut in line because they really wanted that fucking Whopper, I guess. So old fucking Eustace and Muriel come drifting around the corner and the lady filming doesn't let them cut, so they block the car, hold up the line, and then eventually get out of the car to call the police on them. I can also tell the 911 conversation's not going as smoothly as she thought. The Karen probably thought she'd call 911 and say, I need help at Burger King, and they would have sent the fucking SWAT unit out there to give her fucking Whopper. But it's clearly not happening that way, so she's starting to really reach, like, she almost hit me, even though the car is like fucking 50 miles away from her. Unless this Karen has some kind of like crazy disjointed hitbox like Super Smash Bros. Melee, she was in no danger of being hit here. But she's trying everything just to get a police officer out there.
This is a Karen and a Ken. A Karen and a Ken. Yes, please. Come on, cops. Come on down here, please.
I'll be honest, I feel bad for her husband here. You can tell that he's so fucking embarrassed. He can't even look this lady in the eyes. He can't take his eyes off of the pavement here, just looking down. This is absolutely not the first time his wife has embarrassed him like this. He reminds me of like a sad puppy who has shit owners but is still loyal to them just because they have a good heart. I actually do feel bad for this guy. I don't think he even says a single word throughout this whole interaction here, at least not while the camera's rolling.
I think the police is here. Yeah, he's here.
You see how petty this
All right,
is?
I can move now.
You see how petty this is?
The world's most unlucky police officer arrives in order to get the full breakdown of the situation and the synopsis here. Pretty much what I just told you is what gets explained, and then the lady filming just pulls through the drive-thru and gets her food. So a happy ending. I like to imagine that the Karen got arrested just for taking up valuable time of a 911 dispatcher. But anyway, I just wanted to share this one just because I find it very enjoyable to see this happen at Burger King. This is probably the best marketing they've had in years. Burger King's known for the worst marketing ever, like that time they made a tweet on like National Women's Day saying women belong in the kitchen as a way of garnering shock and hate to promote their program that helps pay for scholarships for women or something. Burger King's known for horrible marketing. This is quite literally probably the best marketing they've had in years. So yeah, anyway, that's about it. See ya. It's often said the most painful experience a human being can endure is childbirth. But that's so disgustingly wrong. The most painful experience humans can endure is school board meetings. The amount of absolute lunacy there is off the charts. Listening to the crazy people at school board meetings is like sticking your head into a wood chipper, except the wood chipper's at least a lot faster at killing you. Listening to these people is a slow, agonizing death.
It's never been about your health. It's never been about your health. It's about control and compliance. And let me tell you something. Go home tonight and take one of these spoons and put it on your vaccination spot. Guess what? It's going to stick to you.
Well, if you say so, I'll try this little Bill Nye experiment. Son of a bitch, come on. God, I wish it would stick to me. I'd love to be like Magneto, but unfortunately, this is a false prophet. She's shitting and spitting lies. This magnetism conspiracy has been popping off recently, and I think it's a really entertaining one. I can't even be mad about it. People genuinely think getting a vaccine is going to turn you into some kind of metal-bending monster from the Avatar universe or something. It's so fucking goofy. Like, this is magic tricks that you do for children at a birthday party. Like, where you put a toothpick on your thumb and tape it down, so that way when you put your thumb back, it looks like it disappeared, and you convince them it's gone forever, and you blow their mind. Like, this is like the same shit you do there. Like, son, come here, I have something to show you, and keep this a secret. I'm a superhero, look. I'm Magnet Man. Spoons stick to me. These people actually have the brains of children. It's so fucking wild. And for some reason, almost all of them are parents. Usually when you think of someone stupid, you picture like the stereotypical eating glue, doing something reckless like playing chicken with a train. But now, over the last year or so, when I think of something stupid and someone really fucking dumb, I picture a parent. Like, someone that looks like this lady. This lady is dressed like she's trying to disguise herself as an alligator. Like she's trying to go undercover in a zoo exhibit to infiltrate the alligators.
Get in a corner, get into some silence and some meditation. Hopefully some of you believe in God, and pray and check in with yourself or whoever you answer to and ask, is this something normal? To have metal stick to you?
Lady, anything can stick to you if you're sweaty and greasy enough, which I'm sure you know all about. I also don't know why she's bringing God into this. He must be so embarrassed when people like this throw his name around.
Is this human? No. And guess what else? You take a black light flashlight and shine it on your veins, and you're now going to glow in the black light. Because guess what? You're no longer human. You're 2.0s, and we are afraid of you.
Everything she's saying sounds fucking awesome. She's a great advertisement for the vaccine. You apparently get to be magnetized and glow in the dark. She calls you a 2.0, so you're an upgraded version of humans. Like, goddamn, if I was anti-vax and I heard her speech, I would be the first one in line to get vaccinated right now. I would be voting for her for class president, because these fucking wild promises sound incredible.
You shouldn't be afraid of us because you're shedding your spike proteins. And this is the reason why people are in the hospital. It's not the unvaccinated, it's the vaccinated.
These people often say that they do tons of research on their own, but I find that very hard to believe because there's no chance this lady can spell vaccination. So there's only one way she's getting this information. Through Facebook, baby. If ever there was a time to get religious, it's now. And pray to God that he will just wipe Facebook off the face of this planet. It's the only chance we have left.
It's the vaccinated, and guess what? The truth is coming out, everything is bubbling up, and you guys are disposable, and whoever you're puppeting, whoever you're parroting, they don't care about you.
When these imbeciles say things like this, it actually makes me sad, because they're convinced that they're not sheep, even though they are the actual sheep in this situation. They just parrot what they see in their Facebook groups, verbatim. They all say the exact same things. This is a school board meeting that just happened, and it is exactly the same shit that the last one we looked at a few months ago was saying. They're saying these identical things, the same rhetoric, nothing changes. They are literal sheep. But they are convinced that they're the only ones seeing the truth. It's an absolute tragedy, and it's a slippery slope. Once you believe one conspiracy like this, you believe every single one of them, because then it puts the mistrust of everything and everyone in your blood. It's a direct injection of delusion right into your bloodstream. So, while she believes all this magnetism vaccination shit, I am sure she is also going to start believing in flat earth as well, because they all stem from the same idea. You can't trust anyone but the Facebook groups that suck on your dick and titties and make you feel good, make you feel smart. You can't trust anyone else. The experts, they're lying to you because they're trying to control you. The reason you're miserable at 40 years old and haven't accomplished anything isn't because it's your fault. It's because the government's been keeping you down and trying to prevent your third eye from opening. But we're going to show you the truth, this and that, and then you believe all of these absolutely asinine, wild, garbage things.
Any more or less than you care about the kids. And I invite you to get a conscience, because if you're vaccinated, your time is limited. Anyways, but I ask you to get on your knees and repent and ask for forgiveness, because this is not just happening on this field and on this plane. You're going to be paying for this for the rest of eternity, all right? So I would tell you good luck. God bless. See ya.
The worst part about this supervillain monologue is the clapping at the end. There's people supporting that. And that's awful. That's what's so fucking sad. It's crazy how many people believe these things. I know a lot of people like to say, oh, no one really believes that. But there's a lot of people just like her that'll hear these absolutely outlandish statements like, the vaccine makes you a magnet. You'll go outside and get hit by a fucking car battery that gets ripped out of a nearby vehicle because you're such a super magnet from the vaccine. And they're like, oh, that sounds reasonable. I don't need any further proof because now you've said it, so I'll believe it. It's just people wanting to believe absolute dumb shit. We live in fan fiction land now. People believe everything based on nothing. They just have this desire to feel smarter than everyone else and unique. And it sucks. It fucking sucks. But it is always fun to have a little laugh at, like people like her. So, I mean, you know, you take the good with the bad, I suppose. That's about it. See ya. Hey, what's going on? It's me again, the mad scientist of menopause. Today we're looking at another really angry woman out in public. But this time, she's equipped for war.
Fucking say it to your face, you fucking ugly packy. Fuck, get out of my town.
Now what are you? Now what
I
are
am
you?
your wife, you motherfucker.
If you blink, you might miss her. She's like a lightning bolt going across the screen. She's riding around on her mobility scooter, fucking drifting around the turns like Dominic Toretto and spewing some racist shit.
You get the fuck out of my town.
Fucking racist bitch?
Yes, I am. I'm
Who the fuck
racist,
you talking to?
bitch, and I
You
will.
fucking racist bitch? Fuck you! Fucking racist?
So she hits him with some drive-by racism and then takes off into the sunset on her trusty steed. It looks like some shit out of Twisted Metal, like a DLC character.
You're nothing to me. You're fucking stinky fuck.
Look who's talking. Look at your feet. You crusty woman.
Look at my feet. Yeah, you know what? I'm a witch. We're supposed to be drowned, you dumb fuck. You know nothing about witches. You want to fuck with me? You'll see what happens.
She looks like a goofy skin for Urgot from League of Legends. There's a lot to unpack here. So after spectators pointed out that she's barefoot, which makes her gross, she claimed that it's because she's a witch. Now, I'm no expert on the occult or witchcraft, but I have to imagine there's no reason for witches to be barefoot. You know, at least if TikTok's taught me anything, you can be a witch if you just have 3 eggs that you slam together and you can claim that you're a witch or a warlock or something. Really, I just feel like that's a big lie. Like, how do I know she's not a hobbit, which is why she's barefoot? And her explanation of needing to be grounded doesn't make any sense unless she's an electrical outlet in somebody's home. You know, you don't need to be barefoot to be grounded. And she's not even on the ground. She's on a scooter. Not even a broom. So there's just plenty of ways to poke holes in this condom of witchcraft that she's trying to claim. It's ridiculous.
Because of the fucking curry all over my parts. The spices. Disgusting! In the fucking language. Disgusting! Yep, that's fucking right. I'm the Canadian here. I'll fucking speak my languages, but fuck you and yours.
Ruth is out here riding dirty. I love the little skull sticker on the back of her mobility scooter. She treats it like it's a Harley Davidson motorcycle and she's part of the Hells Angels. I've tried so fucking hard to read that sticker, going like full CSI on it, trying to enhance beyond human capabilities, and I just can't figure out what it says. I think it says sock goop, but that doesn't make any sense unless that's the name of her scooter gang she belongs to at the retirement home.
It's actually quite entertaining. No, not goodbye. You goodbye. I don't have to goodbye. You didn't pay for shit yet. You don't even live here. So fuck you.
You're so lucky you have my child, and you're older. Otherwise, you're
Oh yeah? You fucking, are you scared me? You fucking scared me? You fucking scared me?
kids all
I don't care. They don't
We're
even
in a
understand
park.
English. You fucking scared me?
She's got to be careful out here. That bad boy's going to run out of juice any minute now. The battery life on those things isn't great, and she's going to get herself stranded here and need life alert. She's talking mighty big for someone in such a vulnerable position. 1 slash tire, and she's stuck there for the rest of her fucking life. She'll starve to death because she won't be able to waddle around and get any nutrients. Like, she's going to need AAA services if someone even sticks their foot out and causes, like, a small flat tire.
Chill out! Don't swear in front of my daughter!
I have my daughter in my house.
You know what? Don't fucking talk your language in front of me then, and I won't.
She's
I don't
speaking
even know
your
my language. Otherwise, fuck you.
Those fingers are rated E for everyone. She's been tossing these out left and right, giving them away like candy on Halloween to trick-or-treaters.
Why are you freaking out? You're in a public place right now. You know how embarrassing you are?
Exactly.
You're embarrassing yourself.
Are you fucking serious? Or seriously fuck?
Go.
Supposed to be a gift.
Go.
Look at everybody around you. It doesn't matter what color you are, what race you are.
This lady looks and sounds like a cartoon character. Just look at her face right here. She looks like the sad Pepe Twitch emote.
How many colored people are around you right now?
Just go home.
Wow. Look all around you.
What are you gonna do if I don't go home?
This is why
I don't have to go home. I am home, you dumb fuck.
It absolutely blows my mind how people like her feel so confident in their own safety that they'll just insult and threaten everyone around them and expect them to do nothing. She is not tough. I wouldn't exactly picture her when I think of the word strength and combat ability. Unless there's some hidden Gatling guns turrets strapped to that mobility scooter, I just don't see her winning a fight against anyone or anything. Like even like a small squirrel would be enough to take her out. And yet she's so confident that she's inviting people to fight her. What are you going to do about it? Those are fighting words. And she's very lucky nobody lifted even a finger to challenge her.
That's not nice.
Everybody knows you.
Get off of me, you fucking... Get off of me!
Get off
of me!
Another one.
You're not supposed to touch me!
Did I say nobody challenged her? I fucking lied to you. Whoops. Old Grandpappy had enough of sitting in the front row witnessing this nonsense, this tomfoolery. So he steps up to the plate and he's just gonna he was trying to push the accelerator to just like blast her out of there, which she thwarted the attempt of, but she made a crucial miscalculation that nearly cost her her life. She struck this man. This guy looks like he's been through 15 wars. It looks like Ric Flair out here. And he reacted instinctually. He brought up a fist. He threw up a set. You know, he brought up the grandpa fist, and then he stopped himself. He's like, oh my god, I can't do this. You know, he stopped himself. He had self-control. But for a brief moment, I bet that put the fear of God in that lady. And then she resorted right back to being the cowardly pussy that all of these people are. She starts threatening to call the cops, even though she's the one that's been causing this whole disturbance, encouraging fighting and violence. And then the second somebody actually kind of challenges her, it's the police, you're going too far, oh my god, oh my Jesus, good lord, Jiminy Cricket, get the fuck away, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah, don't make it rescue. I do too.
I
am
go
a police
home,
officer.
ma'am. You are not.
Why are you
causing a scene? Example, you are.
Go home. This is a total embarrassment. You're causing a scene in front of all these young children for nothing. For nothing.
You do it to yourself. You do it to yourself.
Aw, she's so quirky with her little dance. I really respect everyone around her being able to keep their cool for the most part and keep a level head. I don't know how they do it. That level of self-control always shocks me. Because I feel like if you see this in public, you're just going to be throwing tomatoes at them. Like, that's like the natural human instinct. Like, it's a bad performance at a talent show. You just start throwing tomatoes, like, get the fuck out of here. You know, I don't know how people are able to just stand there calmly and let this kind of racist nonsense continue. She's a giant piece of shit. But yeah, anyway, I thought this was a little wild adventure here, and I wanted to share it. That's about it. So yeah. I think it's safe to say everyone has those hero fantasies where you're the main character that defeats the villain and everyone's impressed and claps for you. You know, that kind of situation you imagine in your head where you're at a restaurant and then all of a sudden Cobra Commander fucking kicks down the door with a bazooka and he's taking hostages, but you go out of your way to disarm Cobra Commander and beat his ass. You know, those kind of hero fantasies I think we've all imagined at some point in our life. But very rarely do you see someone that actually acts upon them and becomes the hero. So please allow me to introduce you to the newest Avenger, Captain Babyman. This is a real-life superhero, and he's just like you and me, just a normal guy, but he has a baby. And he's not afraid to bring that baby into any fight he tries to start.
Recorded. Let's call the police. I'll call the police.
Dude.
I'm gonna call them right now.
Do it.
Identify yourself.
It doesn't matter.
Please identify yourself.
Marvel's really going a new direction with their characters, proving that it's okay for men to cry over nothing. So this is a really confusing video for me because the guy here is really upset about a guy who's at a building visiting a friend. He keeps asking for identification as if this is the bouncer of this apartment complex, which I guess it could be, but if that is the case, they need to fire him and hire somewhere else because this is just not a good bang for your buck here. You are not getting a good deal on your security staff if this guy's the front man here. It's really weird that he's just immediately crying and shaking and calling the police just because someone arrived that he didn't recognize. I guess this apartment complex, everyone's family. Like it's Dominic Toretto's apartment complex. Everyone knows everyone. They kiss each other on the mouth every morning or something. So when the stranger shows up, fucking go on a DEFCON alert and start panicking. But I just don't understand why he's taking it to such an extreme. And if he really does feel like this stranger is that dangerous, why does he have his baby there? He's willingly putting his baby in harm's way. Because in his head right now, he's on the battlefield. Like he's in a war zone right now, and he's the only thing keeping the peace. And he brought his baby to it for some reason. If he really felt this way, he should have done the responsible thing as a father and left since he has his baby.
You can please identify yourself.
I don't have to identify.
Yes, you do, because if you're stepping into this building, you absolutely
have to.
You're
not the gatekeeper of this building.
I live here.
It doesn't matter.
I'm
here visiting.
Then you identify yourself.
No, they call the police. Like, this is really weird.
Please leave. Please stand outside.
I'm not going to.
Please stand outside of the
door.
door.
I don't have to. You are in my way.
I have to wonder if this man and his baby swapped brains, like if there's some kind of science experiment, because the baby's using this man like it's a goddamn Megazord in Power Rangers. He's just up there chilling, like controlling him via his hair. And then the guy here is having a fucking baby tantrum meltdown just because a guy he doesn't recognize is at the door. Now, obviously, I don't know the full scope of the situation. I remember when I lived in an apartment complex, pretty much anyone could wander in off the street. We also used to have a lot of people use it as like a public defecation and urination site. So maybe I'm just not super used to apartment culture when you have to like enter a door. Because back then, the apartment I lived at was just used as a goddamn cum dumpster. But I can't understand that some buildings can take it seriously. Like, if this guy was following someone else into the building and this guy saw it, I could understand him being a little skeptical, like, hey, can you just wait? I feel like that would have been a much more peaceful solution instead of like, where's your ID? Give me your fucking ID. I'm the hall monitor. I'm taking it to the principal. ID, 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 ID. You know, you could have just been like, hey, you just wait for your friend down here or something. Like, there was plenty of different ways of handling this, and I still don't know why he was this confrontational with his baby on his shoulders. Unless he planned on using the baby as, like, a riot shield in case things got out of control. I don't really know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's extremely confusing.
You have no right to be here.
You have no right to tell me that.
Absolutely I do.
No, you don't.
I'm here to make sure the building is... Hi, there's a person
John, this is your home. He's calling the police on me.
John, your buddy here...
I don't have to identify myself to this gentleman.
Please let him know that if he comes in here to let people know who he's visiting. Thank you. Thank you.
Dude.
Don't do that.
Dude, I can't wait to make this video go viral.
John, yeah, that's John.
Now this is where the video gets really fucking trippy. This is where it goes like full Christopher Nolan with its plot. So the guy that he is there to visit comes downstairs and he says, "Hey John." So he addresses him as John. We establish that this character's name is John. So after Boss Baby recognizes that the person he's here to visit actually exists, he lets him in. He's like, "Don't do that again, suck a dick, fuck you, I was real tough." And then he goes over to his friend, who is named John, we are led to believe, since he was called John. And then he just keeps saying, John, 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 John. Which means one of two things. Either John was under some kind of mind control brainwashing thing, and him hearing his name has fucking stun-locked him, so he starts repeating it, John, 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 and he's starting to unlock all of the memories of his life and remember who he is. Or it means that the guy who was blocking the door is also named John, which then also leads me to believe that the other man in the background of the video with the mask will also probably be John as well, which means the entire apartment complex is inhabited by just Johns. He has entered into this parallel dimension where everybody is John. The baby is John, he's John, you're John, I'm John, we're all Squidward. I really do like to imagine that this facility is some kind of government building that, like, it's just concentrated John energy and they all just live there and only there. So if you ever see a John, this is where they came from. It's like a factory that prints out different Johns. But yeah, I mean, anyway, I'm getting a little too deep now. I just wanted to share this video because I found it to be an extremely interesting one, mainly because of the big John twist at the end. So yeah, I don't think if you're going to be a hero, at least don't do it with your baby on your back. You know, like, that seems irresponsible. Also, maybe just be a bit calmer about it instead of immediately trying to call the police because there's a guy you don't recognize there. I wonder if he does this when like a UPS delivery guy comes in, or like Amazon Prime sometimes just has people in their car show up, so when he has an Amazon Prime delivery, he just fucking freaks out, like goes wild, starts chasing the car around on all four like a dog, asking for their ID. You know, there's certainly a better way to have handled this, I think. But anyway, that's about it. See ya. I have become a huge fan of watching school board meetings now. I treat it like a sport. But I'm not really cheering for anyone, I'm just there to appreciate the players going out there and giving it their best. I love watching this shit. With everything going on with masks and vaccines, school board meetings have become absolutely like a modern gladiatorial arena. It's extremely entertaining. And today I want to share the most recent one with you. This actually happened in my own backyard, the state of Florida. It's everything you'd expect from the state of Florida, just not with any bath salts at this, unfortunately. They said, hey, no drugs. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to see them playing at their optimal efficiency in their normal habitat. They were here sober, to the best of my knowledge, which I think is a bit of a shame. They should definitely change the rules at these school board meetings to allow for performance enhancers like meth, especially in Florida where it's just so common. But anyway, I'm going to show you some of the clips of the people going up there to talk, but I do want to say there was a fist fight there. And I can't show you the video because, unfortunately, I think YouTube would take it down. So I'm just going to do my best to paint a picture with words for you. Imagine your old librarian from middle school. You know, she's a bit of an old battle axe, right? You know, a little slippery scallywag. She's not very nice, and she's a bit of a wino. She hits the wine pretty hard, and she's squaring off against your own mother. Like, your actual mom is there. And I want you to imagine them locked into a bout of Mortal Kombat, but as if they were both drunk zombies. So nothing's really landing. And then eventually one of them gets like a titty push in. She goes for like a one-handed titty shove. So she shoves her titty back. And then it gets broken up by a police officer. There were some fists flying, but nothing connecting. They were throwing out some wet noodles. But it's like both of them needed glasses and decided not to wear them that day. So they were just like punching air. You know, it wasn't really even close to the target. It's like they were trying to punch ghosts around their target, or like fighting their spirit. So none of the punches landed except for the booby thrust, and then it gets broken up. But there was one person that really stood out to me in the fight. She wasn't directly participating, but it's this woman right here, wearing a full American flag dress. So we had a real patriot in attendance that day. Fucking female Duke Nukem over here, just loves America, and she's there just trying to show her support for helping kids get sick. I am sorry the quality's a little low on that screenshot. It looks like a picture of Sasquatch. I'm sorry about that. That's the best quality I could find of her attire. But anyway, let me get into showing you the actual school board meeting clips.
I'm going to tell you that your time is up. The people of the state and this district are rising up, and you have awakened a sleeping beast.
That's right, baby. The beast is up and angry, ready to tear scalp from skull at the upcoming WrestleMania. I bet when she wrote that, she thought it sounded really cool and intimidating, but all I get is like 1990s Attitude Era WWE promotionals in my head.
Maybe the reason why we have people in the hospitals all this mask wearing. Did we ever think of that? Did we ever think of that?
Oh, wow. Now, there is a thinker. Oh man, yeah, I don't know if we ever stopped to consider that. Maybe it is the masks that are making everyone sick. Wow, she's really blowing the case wide open. She has like the actual thought processes of a child. You know, is she then going to start lobbying that we remove cracks from pavement because if you step on a crack, you break your mama's back?
Putting a mask on those children is robbing them of their education. You are robbing these kids of their developmental rights in terms of education. Are you educators? Don't you know that?
She is making a good point. Everyone knows that your brain turns off when your mouth is covered. Every time you go to eat something and your mouth gets full, like you just go fucking full brain dead for a split second. Everyone knows that. So she's at least making sense here. You simply cannot learn while wearing a mask, obviously. I mean, how are you expected to do mathematics if there's a mask over your face, right? Like it's simple, it's elementary, really. I wonder if anyone ever told this lady that doctors and surgeons typically wear a mask when performing important operations. But that's probably a lie. I mean, the government probably made that up. I mean, you usually go under when you have like really important surgery. So you're asleep. They're probably not wearing a mask, and you're just being lied to. Since you haven't seen it with your own eyes, they're probably not actually wearing a mask. And if they were, they'd be drooling over themselves because their brain would be off. Like you can't do anything when you have a mask on, obviously, as she's saying. So yeah, no, that's probably a lie. They're probably, when they're doing surgery, they're probably wearing like a leather jacket with like a cigar in their mouth or something, so that way they can really focus. Mrs. Claus here really is on to something. Like, you just can't learn if you're wearing a mask, and That's a really good argument, I think. Like, there's a lot of merit to that statement. If you're the dumbest fucking person on earth.
I want to talk about the real pandemic, child sex trafficking. By putting masks on these kids' face, you can't identify any of them.
What? Excuse me? Buddy, it's a school board meeting. For a second there, I thought he was going to start, like, complaining as, like a child sex trafficker himself. You know, it's like, I can never tell what their age is anymore, god damn it, and it's making my profession as a human trafficker much more difficult, god damn it, so this needs to go.
They don't care about your children. As a matter of fact, they hate them. They hate your kids. They hate my kids. They hate your kids. They hate my kids. Get it?
Yeah. Fucking busting out some stinky rhymes there for a second. She was about to go into a full-blown freestyle for him. I'm pretty sure everyone that showed up here to demand that masks be ripped off of kids' faces are the ones that actually hate their own kids. I don't think they even view them as their own children. I think they just view them as like political tools or something to enforce their own beliefs and agenda. So I think they're really kind of the ones that hate the kids. But that goes against the song she was about to bust out there, the little nursery rhyme she was working up. But like there's just, I'm sure even like a 9-year-old can recognize like there's nothing to be lost by having a mask over your face. It's not like it's harmful. It's not like ruining your life. So what's the point? Even if you don't think it works, it's no different than just having a dress code at school. Like, if you go to a school and they say, hey, you can't have assless chaps, it's not like you're going to make a big hoopla about that. Like, no, I should be able to have my asshole exposed to the world, right? Like, it doesn't matter. If it's just part of the dress code, who cares, right? But to these people, it's more than just that. This is the only thing they have now. This is their whole personality, is just being against the mask and the vaccine. It's a stupid hill to literally die on. We've already seen, what, like 10 different radio hosts that kept preaching no mask, no vaccine, just literally die from it, and then talk about how much they regretted it. So, I mean, it's a cycle that seems to want to continue. And I feel bad for the kids because it's their parents that are trying to hurt them just because they have a stupid belief. They are literally going to Gangnam Style on the corpse of their own kid for it. And I don't think they're going to care either. But I just wanted to say that because I think she's really the one that hates her own kids, and she's just kind of projecting that on the school board that she's whining and complaining to.
99.9 live through this flu, especially the kids, and the data proves that too. Science and laws shouldn't be changing so fast. Has Nuremberg taught us nothing of medical tyranny in the past?
This guy's face really says it all. She brought up Nuremberg. Good lord. Like, some of these people are just too far gone, to be honest. Like, there's just nothing you can do. They just desperately need something to cling to that they feel makes them unique or makes them feel smart, and this is what they've chosen. And I don't think many of these families ever really admit when they're wrong. I do remember not long ago, there was a family who 2 different members of the family died, and they ran 2 GoFundMe campaigns and still kept saying no mask, no vaccine, even in their own fucking GoFundMe campaigns, as they were lobbying for money for funeral services for the 2 members that died from it. So it's just one of those things, man. I don't know what you do about it except just sit back and laugh at them anymore. Like, there's just nothing you can do. They refuse to believe, like, the most basic understanding of anything, and it sucks, but it's a pretty fucking lit school board meeting, right? Like, the content from the school board meeting's pretty fucking A tier. Of course, I feel super bad for the kids because they didn't choose to have stupid parents. It's just really unlucky. And yeah, I just wanted to share some more cool school board meetings with all of you, and that's about it. So yeah. Yesterday, there was a war fought on American soil that I'm sure many of you have seen by now. A one-man army barged into a local smoothie place, assaulted the young workers, got racist, got arrested, and subsequently fired from his very well-paying job. He was one of the top 25 highest-grossing wealth advisors in Connecticut, and he threw all of it away over what was ultimately his fault when it came to a smoothie dispute. This battle was up there with the Battle of Troy, but instead of being fought over a woman, it was fought over a smoothie. To briefly break down the situation before sharing the video, or at least some of the video, I can't share all of it because he gets racist and I'm not going to show that. So just to briefly sum up the lore here, there was a father who had ordered a smoothie from this smoothie place earlier in the day. He mentioned he didn't want any peanut butter in it, so when he got the smoothie, he brought it to his son who has a peanut allergy, and his son had an allergic reaction to the smoothie and ended up in the hospital. Sometime after this, the father then went like full-blown fucking vigilante mode, goddamn trying to emulate John Wick, went back to the smoothie place to demand to speak face to face with the person who made the smoothie. But the 4 girls that were working there at the time were not the 4 employees that made that smoothie, so they didn't know who it was. So then the father got very upset, yelling and screaming, treating it like a 2009 Call of Duty Xbox Live lobby, just absolutely shouting, being racist, and tried to kick down the employees only door, I imagine, to try and like beat them up or some shit. Then police got involved, he got arrested, lost his job. The whole thing honestly played out like a fucking Dhar Mann video over the last 12 hours. Father gets angry, gets racist, gets fired, lives to regret it. Now, I want to make it clear, I think the father is totally in the right to be mad about the situation, but nothing justifies racism and like trying to assault people that didn't even have anything to do with the situation in the first place or any of that shit. The most important part of this story is the father never specified he didn't want the peanut butter due to allergies. He never specified that it was due to, allergies to peanuts that he wanted the peanut butter excluded. So the workers may have made a mistake of blending it in a blender that had already had a peanut butter smoothie in it at some point. But nothing excuses how the father handled the situation at all. It's terrible what happened to his son, and what the father should have done is handle this legally, professionally. The dude's a fucking wealth advisor, at a very reputable place. He shouldn't be some kind of troglodyte homunculus who thinks the only solution here is to goofily march into the smoothie place, fee-fi-fo-fumming, ready to fight some high school girls. It's absolutely outrageous the way he handled it, and there's no excuse for it. Now, from what I understand, most restaurants do have a policy when someone asks for anything regarding nuts, like leave off, the peanut butter or whatever, the assumption is supposed to be made that it is due to allergies, which is why they have like a special blender at smoothie places from what I was reading. So yes, the smoothie place is at fault, which is why the father should have handled this legally, not as some kind of, agent of chaos or whatever. Let me go ahead and show you the video now.
Please don't yell at us.
Yeah.
Don't videotape me.
You have no room to yell at us.
I want to speak to the fucking person who made this drink. Is that you?
No, it wasn't
we don't know
me.
who made it, so.
You don't know who made it?
There's 4 of us here, so we obviously don't know.
Fucking stupid, fucking ignorant high school kids.
Okay, bye.
I want to speak to the fucking
Bye.
manager.
Okay, you can call corporate whenever you want. Goodbye.
Gianna, stop. You're on camera.
Fuck
You're on
out of
camera.
here,
You're on
you
camera.
fucking bitch.
No, I don't care.
Give it to me right now.
What?
I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police.
Fuck you. I want the fucking telephone number right now.
Gianna,
I want the telephone number. Shut the fuck
You
up.
shut up. Get out. You can call corporate whenever you want. Bye.
You're a fucking idiot.
Okay, good for you. Fuck out. You're going to jail. You're going to jail, you racist piece of shit.
I want the fucking telephone.
Bro, call the police now.
Like I said, I'm not going to keep any of the racist shit he said in here because obviously I don't want to keep that in here. So this is the worst way of handling any situation ever. I talked about it on stream last night, so I'll play some of those clips. But there's nothing that excuses this behavior. I've seen quite a few people almost defend him, saying like how emotional he must have been with his son. And yeah, that's a horrible thing that happened to his kid off of a mistake from the facility here. But this is not the way you go about it. And nothing justifies racism and like attacking people, especially people that had nothing to do with what happened in the first place. And if he was really that emotional about his son, why wasn't he with his son at the hospital at this point? I'm assuming when this was happening, his son was still at the hospital. This probably wasn't like 18 hours later, or, the next day or anything. So he sent his son to the hospital and then immediately came over here like it was some kind of revenge movie or something. It's disgusting. I don't think they maliciously put peanut butter in his smoothie after he asked not to. It was probably just using a cross-contaminated blender that had peanut butter in it. Just sue. Exactly. He could have handled this legally or anything other than whatever the fuck he thought he was doing here, like Liam Neeson. Fair, but if I was a dad, I'd get just as angry, just without the racism. He absolutely had a right to be angry. I don't think anyone disputes that. But he doesn't have a right to be racist, or go to the place and threaten high school girls. And throw a smoothie at them, call them all kinds of horrible names, and then try and literally break down the door to, I assume, beat them up. Most places, when they hear no peanuts / nuts of any kind, they're supposed to assume allergies due to how common it is. That would make sense. He was the wealth management advisor, and managing director for Merrill Lynch. Yeah, that's what it was. He only worked with clients with $1 million or more. I remember that. I guess you can't control emotions when your son is in the hospital. What? What? I mean, no matter how mad you get, there's never an excuse for racism. Like, what do you mean? It's not like, my son, time to go be racist. Dude looks way older than 48. He doesn't look that much older than 48. Like, it's not like a good 48 he's rocking, but it's also not, like, terrible. You clearly haven't met a 48-year-old in Florida. Yeah, so as I mentioned, this father only worked with clients who had $1 million or more worth of like assets in their account or some shit like that. So this guy was big money. He wasn't making peanuts. This guy was making like fucking fat big old stacks, and he lost that job like hours after this video surfaced. Overall, this whole situation was awful. Feel really bad for the kid. Both parties were at fault, but the father was significantly more in the wrong for how he handled this. There is just no excuse for this behavior whatsoever. So, yeah, that's about it. So, yeah. I remember when I was a kid in middle school, there was a guy that tried to sell me cigarettes once. It wasn't like an adult or anything. It wasn't a creepy uncle situation. It was just a fellow classmate. And he, like, pulled me aside. He's like, Charlie, you want to see something fucking epic? You ever heard of cigarettes? And I was like, yeah, I've heard of those goofy little things before. Why? So he like opened up his backpack and showed me. He made it seem like he was showing me like a real life fucking Pokemon or something, like a dinosaur egg. And I just never really forgot that. That story doesn't really have anything in common with what we're talking about today, other than I now feel like that kid's selling cigarettes, but instead of selling cigarettes, now I'm just showing you something fucking epic with a grown-ass man melting down and throwing a temper tantrum after being told he has to move one seat to his left in a movie theater.
Seats in this theater.
So let's
Why do you have to have mine?
It's not your seat.
Go away.
That's not gonna
I pay my money. I have a right to it.
Sit in your seat, correct?
Yes,
that's
my
not,
seat.
That's not your seat.
How can you tell it's not my seat?
Because your ticket has your seat number on it.
Absolutely bent him over and blasted his ass with facts and logic. Put his ass into a checkmate, the scholar's mate, by dropping the mic after revealing that his ticket has his assigned seat on it, as pretty much every movie theater does these days. And so, to bring you up to speed, this gentleman was asked to just move to his seat that is on his ticket, and that's when all hell broke loose. That's when the demon came out.
Whatever.
Let's find it.
Whatever.
This can easily
do
be
your
resolved
own policy.
in
No,
your
I'm going to be an
argument.
asshole because you're being an asshole.
I am not.
I'm a patron here.
Okay, and I'm trying to find
And this
your
will be
seat.
the last time that I come to this imagined theater.
My man just dropped a theater on him. That's some straight out of SpongeBob fire. Again, this could all be solved super easily if he just moved to the seat right next to him. But he just will not budge. This is what happens when an unstoppable object meets an immovable sack of rejection and failure.
All right,
great.
I paid
That
my
sounds
money.
great.
Does anybody
please
here
don't come
think
back.
that
Please
this
don't
is
come back.
actually a thing where it's like, it doesn't matter where you sit. It's not assigned seating.
It is. Go sit in your own seat. Thank you.
So now we get a look at our protagonist here. It's Hulk Hogan. Hulkmania is running wild here, brother. I'll tell you what. And the camera angle is very cinematic here. I feel like a child hiding inside of my parents' closet. Now they've just busted in and started making out with each other, and I'm really uncomfortable. You also gotta love that the crowd work didn't exactly pan out. Wait, guys, what's the deal with assigned seating? Does anyone else believe in this shit? This shit's more made up than round earth theory, am I right? Like, come on, what's going on with that shit? And some guy's like, bro, just go to your seat. He's like, oh, bah humbug, whatever. It's just this phenomenon that I always find amazing, when someone is so confidently wrong and lost in their own delusion, just huffing too many of their own farts that they just really think that they're right, and put themselves out there to get validation and never find it. It's like those people that are melting down in a public store or at a retail worker, and they film themselves melting down and insulting the retail worker, thinking that they're in the right and it looks good on them. But every single time, it just gets them attacked by everyone, or they get like fired from their job for it because they themselves posted their worst moment thinking that they were in the right.
Oh, thank you.
Please, sir, let's find your seat and we can start.
No, I'm not going to.
Then I'm going to ask you to leave.
You did, like 4 or 5 times. And that's why now we have a disturbance. Because some other people can't just be like, you know what? I could sit right here.
Sir, we're not doing this
One seat off.
We're not doing
One seat off.
I gotta say, man, the employee here has the patience of an actual Zen master. I don't know how someone can be dealing with fucking drunk Yosemite Sam over here like this with such a level head. He's just sitting there being as respectful as possible given the circumstance. So that guy needs a raise. ASAP.
So if I were to move over one seat, everything would be okay.
Sir,
is that what you're saying?
You're disrupting.
Is that what you're saying?
Listen.
Does that mean?
Are you gonna listen?
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Be my pest.
Okay. At this point, you are disrupting the show for these fine folks. We're gonna ask you to leave. We'll get you a refund though. I'll be nice and get you a refund.
I don't know. I might want to be taken out in handcuffs now.
Sir, come on.
I say call his bluff. This is not a guy who's accustomed to confrontation or fighting. When you see him stand up, you'll know what I'm talking about. This is a guy whose only argument has probably ever come from playing Dungeons and Dragons online, or maybe like a rule dispute in Magic the Gathering. There is no chance that this guy would be okay in the face of like actual confrontation. He's just taking advantage of some very respectful and nice workers and being an insufferable asshole. Now, it does sound like he's been drinking, but that's no excuse for this behavior whatsoever. It's such a small, trivial thing to just move one seat over. I imagine the reason they even checked his ticket and then found out he was in the wrong seat is because someone was trying to sit in their assigned seat, but this fucking vigilante swamp-ass monster couldn't help but try and, like, fight for his right to be a nuisance. It's so frustrating that people will cause such a massive scene over something so small. Just move one seat over. It's just not that hard.
I paid my money. I don't understand why it is. If I sit over here, one seat, it's okay, and everything is right with the world. But if not, the world stops and everybody gets upset.
Sir, let's go. I'll be nice and I'll get you a refund.
I want more than just a refund.
Okay.
Can I get a drink?
We'll take care of you in the lobby.
One more drink's gonna have this man in the fetal position crying and asking for his mom to pop a tit for him to suckle. It's not a good idea. He's definitely hit the sauce a little too hard today, though he does strike me as just an already angry person to begin with if he's willing to go this hard on something this insignificant. So hopefully he didn't get a drink, and hopefully he didn't get a refund. He was not entitled to a refund. He literally just donated to this theater to not even see a movie. He went in here, confrontational, and basically kicked himself out. He does not need a refund. That is being way too nice to this guy. These two workers deserve a raise for having to deal with someone like this. Just an actual public nuisance.
Fine. And then I won't come back.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay.
And I'm going to make sure everybody knows about this shit.
Okay. I appreciate that.
I'm capitulating because I don't want to watch the movie now. You ruined it for me. Because of your silly ass rules.
Okay. I apologize about that.
Take a look at that drip, god damn! Looking suave. Man out here with the red on red, dressed like an actual zit. Or maybe the saturation's a little up and maybe it's orange on orange and he's cosplaying as a traffic cone with a wig. I'm really not sure, but he's looking real good here. Man's looking like Doc Brown going through a phase after Back to the Future 3.
I still think I'm being the bigger person here. Yeah. At least I didn't pay $900 for it. Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy your movie.
The most predictable twist in cinema history. This guy owns a trench coat and unironically wears it in public. I actually thought when he first picked it up it was a trash bag or like a tarp or something. And then it turned out to be a trench coat and I just thought, yep, that makes sense. That tracks. That sounds about par for the course. He probably also had like a katana stored in the trunk of his car just in case he happened to get jumped by 6 samurais on the way out of the parking lot or something. Just really sad shit. Just a public nuisance for no fucking reason. Could have just moved one seat over and saved everyone the trouble and himself the embarrassment. I think this is just a lesson to everyone to not make a big deal out of such simple and small things. Even like, let's say in some fantasy world he was right. You know, he was actually in the right seat and the movie theater was wrong. None of them couldn't read. They were all illiterate. Even still, it was such a simple ask. They're asking me to move one seat over. I might be right, but why am I going to fight them? It's their facility. I'll just move over so that way I'm not intruding on everyone else's time. It's just not hard to just do something simple for the sake of everyone else's enjoyment and ease of existence. Like, it's just, I don't know, that shit just drives me up a fucking wall. Anyway, I just saw this today and wanted to talk about it. That's about it. See ya. I learned very early on in life that you can tell a lot about a person based on how they treat workers, whether that be retail workers at a store, waiters and waitresses at a restaurant, fast food workers, anything. It's like a little cheat code into the human psyche. You can tell if someone's an insufferable douchebag based on how they interact with employees out in the world. If someone's being mean and disrespectful to someone that's just trying to do their job, then chances are they're a worthless asshole. And I don't need to be a licensed psychologist in order to diagnose them with terminal douchebag personality syndrome. But by far the most infuriating are the stupid douchebags, the troglodyte imbeciles that will get mad at the employees for decisions the company made, as if the employees had any say-so in whatever the fuck you're complaining about. You saw it all the time during the early pandemic when companies asked that the customers wear a mask, so the employees were forced to enforce the rule, and would face so much backlash from the customers as if they were the ones that made it. Like, they're just trying not to get fired. So you have all these inbred weirdos losing their mind like, how dare you muzzle me, you goddamn communist, telling me how to live my life. I will beat your ass in the parking lot, bend over so I can suck a fart out of your butt. As if the employee that you're yelling at and threatening to beat up had anything to do with the actual thing you're complaining about. They had no say-so. They were just a fucking employee of the company doing their job. And it happens all the time in retail, but this was the first example I could think of since that was happening all over the place on Facebook back during the early pandemic. Just being rude, mean, and nasty to workers who are just doing their job is by far the easiest way to identify a piece of shit. And I'd love to show you a perfect example of this. This is a customer who's melting down at a fast food worker who quite literally did nothing wrong at all.
Hey. Can I ask you something, by the way? No, it's just that every time I come here, like, at the late night hour, I don't know why, you're, like, very, like, it's not even me, because I know it's not just me. Like, I'm sure you're, like, this way with everyone. You just, like, are very impatient. Like,
this man's face really tells the whole story. Hitting this guy with the Kubrick stare and just a little bit of shock, like, are you fucking kidding me right now? You're gonna lecture me at, like, 3 a.m. here on absolute nothing? Man's hitting him with a goddamn thespian troupe monologue here. He's absolutely rehearsed this in the mirror, hyped himself up like, I'm gonna give this employee a piece of my mind over nothing.
If like, you don't want this job, you don't have to be here. Like, I'm just letting you know, like, you literally rush my order every single time, and I hate having you.
Imagine going to a fast food drive-thru and complaining that the food came out too quickly. That's the whole definition of fast food, is that it arrives in a timely manner to you. What are you there for then if you wanted slower prepared food? Go to a moderate speed restaurant. Or you can go to IHOP and never get your food, because by the time you get your food, you will have died by old age. Like, I don't understand what the complaint even is. He's mad that this guy rushed his order. That is the whole goddamn point of fast food. That it is prepared quickly for you. You are arguing a non-issue to a guy who is very clearly not interested and doesn't deserve it. This guy is just doing his job at the late night hour to serve your absolute incompetent, disrespectful, entitled ass, and you have the audacity to shit on him for it.
And I mean, I'm sure my word means nothing to you, but I'm just telling you, you have the choice to have a different profession. This isn't a profession. I'm sure you're just very incompetent and you have to work here. But I'm not being ignorant either.
Yeah, definitely not being ignorant at all. Just some kind of unhinged lunatic going through the drive-thru to insult a worker who's done nothing wrong at all. Saying that it's not a real profession and that he must be incompetent. As if the guy recording has a fucking job. He absolutely just came from an affluent family and is entitled. You can tell just by the way he talks. He probably has his pinky up on the cup that he just got there.
It's just like, I come here to get food. who cares, like, if I've been drinking or doing whatever? Like, I come here at a late night hour, I get food. Every time I have you, I fucking hate it. It makes me sick.
Yeah, this absolute brain-rotted goofy goober just self-reports and says that he's been drinking. So the man is drunk driving through a drive-thru, and he has it on camera and posted it himself. How dumb do you have to be? And to publicly go out there and embarrass yourself like this is so wild to me because he recorded it himself. He planned to go to this guy and confront him for justice, you know? This one's for the people. It's time we rise up against this one employee just doing his job. So he films this, watches it back, and posts it himself saying, yep, I look pretty good here. Can't wait to share it with my friends. Post it on Facebook for all of his friends to fucking laugh at him. And now he will never live it down. He is forever known as this shit stain. This greasy goblin that insulted a worker for no reason whatsoever. And it is the ultimate delusion that he is the one belittling and insulting this worker for his job, while I imagine he himself doesn't hold down a steady job. I don't know too much about the guy personally. There's not a whole lot of info behind this person here. But just by the way he talks, I can tell that he's very entitled. He most likely came from an affluent family, driving around right now in a car his parents paid for, probably wearing a stained plaid shirt after a night of drinking with the boys, desperately trying to get laid, but getting rejected for the millionth time. So now he's just mad at the world, just full-blown bah humbug, going Scrooge right now. I'm going to the drive-thru, and I'm just gonna give this guy a piece of my mind. And this is the result.
Sorry about that. No, I'm sure you're very sorry about it. I'm sure you're very sorry about it. But you are very shitty to me every time I come here.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm sure you're not actually sorry, and you're just saying that because, like, whatever's happening or you're being recorded. So
there is nothing this guy can say or do from this point forward that will convince me that he's not an absolute insufferable douchebag. This guy could quite literally put on the cape and become the real world Batman, and I would still think he sucks. I have no respect for people like this guy. I hate it. It drives me fucking nuts. And the fact that he also loosely admits to drunk driving in the video just makes it even worse. He is two of the things I have the least respect for. Someone who's rude to workers for no reason, and a drunk driver. This man is the whole package, like the entire starter kit for being a douchebag. An actual piece of shit. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah.